This next ad comes to you from a company that's cooking the best omelets you'll have all year, all while changing the world one egg at a time. It's called Just Egg, and I'm happy to tell you about it because Just Egg is a cholesterol-free, plant-based egg that will give you the most decadent quiches of your life, the fluffiest scrambles, and the easiest egg sandwiches. Or in my case in particular, I love a good Just Egg scramble in the morning on an English muffin, a little bit of cheese and beautiful barbecue sauce. I think it's fantastic and it tastes great. And Just Egg has about the same protein as a chicken egg, but with much less saturated fat. Plus, Just Egg is packed with cholesterol-lowering polyunsaturated fat. Chicken eggs have severe FOMO when they look at Just Egg, and that's really the important part for me. In order for Just Egg to be successful, I think it really needs to make sure that it tastes good and is good for you, and I can happily say it ticks both of those boxes. As someone who loves eating eggs every morning, I've had to cut it back in recent years, basically because of health concerns. There's a lot of cholesterol in regular eggs, but I'm excited to have found an alternative that is good for me and good for the environment. In 2022, may your eggs be filled with Just Egg. Just Egg, really good eggs.
Yes! Grab your torch and dip it into this podcast. No Buffs is back. I'm J.E. Skeets, along with two guys I love more than Maryanne loves Zach. We got the bearded one, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. Oh, yeah, I have to do that, too.
Yeah, come on, man. Chime in.
That's right.
And over there, we got No Dunk super producer pushing all them buttons, JD.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are. Shout out to everybody joining us live right now. The Live Tribe, as we call our stream team when it comes to No Buffs. We're back to recap episode 2 of Survivor 42, titled Good and Guilty. Who said that last night?
No one said it.
Who got credit for that line? It's always the
mystery.
headline, the title of the show. Good and Guilty. Somebody said it, I think. But before we get started, just like out on the island, on this pod, fire represents life. So let's get to lighting our sexy St. Jeff Probst candle. Hopefully this goes better than it did in our premiere episode of No Buffs. Uh-oh, we got to get you a longer match. Is that what
It's getting a little dangerous.
All right, there it is. Probst has been lit. And this podcast is underway. Before we get into the actual episode last night, make sure you like the video, subscribe to No Buffs, be it on YouTube or Apple or Spotify. Leave your boys a 5-star rating and review. Helps us out in terms of people finding the show. Okay, my first question with episode 2 last night, again, Survivor 42. Did the Orange Tribe, Taku, make the right call by voting out Mariah over Maryanne? And man, was that fun when we could see somebody write down M-A-R-Y and we still had no idea who it was. Omar could have put the other A people are pointing out, and we still really wouldn't have technically known. But yeah, they ultimately vote out Mariah. She plays the shot in the dark, rolling the die, comes up empty, not safe. But what do you think overall?
I thought it was kind of hard to tell if this is the right move because we just don't really know the tribes that well to start the season, but it kind of seemed like, I think Dalton Ross put it this way in the Entertainment Weekly recap, that it was between a high energy player and a lower energy player. It seemed like Mariah seemed to be kind of falling in the background a little bit more. I read her exit interview with Dalton Ross, and she's saying that she was working on making relationships with people rather than focusing on the strategic part of the game.
Yeah.
Whereas Maryanne is out there meeting everybody and just a bundle of energy and lifting the spirits of everyone and kind of, I don't know if you would say she's a leader of her tribe, but you would at least say she's one of the faces of her tribe and kind of a big name. And maybe down the line, a louder player might rub some feathers the wrong way and be a little bit easier to vote off at some point. So I think it was a little tough to tell. Like we just don't know. It's just this early, but it seemed like a pretty easy decision as Mariah ended up going home with a unanimous vote.
Yeah, and she, I guess, sensed it, JD, and again, taking a shot in the dark and playing that die. We've already had now 2 people play it on Survivor 42.
Great.
We had all of one person. Sydney, I think, was the only one in Survivor 41. So, they're being a little more aggressive with rolling that die, and unfortunately everybody keeps coming up short. But what do you think of that first question? Like Taku ultimately, really it's Jonathan and Omar, it feels like, sort of making the decision of like where we're going to go in this tribe.
Right. Favorite new bromance, by the way.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But I think they made the right decision. Maryanne, she is effervescent. She is enthusiastic. She doesn't know she's on Survivor. She said so at Tribal Council. She was like 5 days in and, oh shit, I'm playing Survivor. I may go home tonight. So, she's doing all the stuff you do at camp, right? If you've ever been to camp, it's like, that guy in the other cabin over there who I've never met is very cute. I think I love him. That kind of thing. Rachel's like, oh, so this is the season that they let the 16-year-olds in, I guess, right? And I'm like, no. She was 23 when she started playing this. I mean, I like Maryanne. She is, like I said, a bundle of joy, but I only have to deal with her for 45 minutes a week. I cannot imagine being around that 24 hours a day while I'm hungry, probably have a headache, and just tone it down a little, please, Maryanne, please. But, the bottom line is that she wears her heart on her sleeve. She's terrible at playing the game of Survivor. And that's who you want around you in the early days, right? Like, you can't really get a read of Mariah. She's said, hey, I'm finally doing something for myself. I'm going to play selfishly over here. And, awful story about her brother and all of that. A very sympathetic story. So tick another strike against her if you're like filling out the card of why I should vote somebody out.
Does that matter anymore though? Because we said last week, everybody has one of these stories now.
Yeah.
So now it's almost like it doesn't, like, yes, in seasons prior, I think if you have that type of story that you're coming in with and you're sharing, let alone with us, the viewers, but people out on the island, then those people out there with you are like, we can't let so-and-so be there. Like, listen to this story. Everybody's going to want to be voting for this person in the end. But now everybody seems to have this type of thing.
This particular one is COVID related. It's the first healthcare worker to die of COVID. I mean, that's compelling.
Oh, they're all compelling is what I'm getting at.
You're right.
And now, I mean, maybe you're not as afraid if you're out there to share your backstory or what brought you there or something heavy that you're holding on to, like she
unless
is
you're a therapist.
Yes.
You do not want to reveal that.
Well, yeah, they say if like you're a lawyer and stuff like that.
That's true, right? Probably.
Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt, but like, I'm just not sure people will be holding that against these people now because they're all pretty heavy stories.
Fair enough. But if it's between the two of them, you got to go Mariah, right? I mean, just in terms of. I'm just saying, I
ultimately think you're right. I think that's what Jonathan and Omar are sort of. I mean, it's so early still. I mean, like it's like, who knows if they're going to be together still when we mix this up and all that. But yeah, they're probably a little bit thinking she might be a little annoying, Maryanne. There's a lot of energy there, but
you're being very polite.
Yeah, she is. I mean, already I'm like, she's awesome TV in the sense like you are either going to love her or at some point you might hate her.
Right.
And if you put yourself in the shoes of the people out on the island, I'm with you, JD. I guess Lindsay is a talker too.
Yeah.
By all accounts, like we're seeing, sort of these exit interviews. Like, so there's just no moment of silence. When Maryanne would maybe finally tone it down for a second, I guess it was Lindsay picking up the, the baton. And
yeah, Mariah
that
said
would be
nobody wanted to just look at the stars. Nobody wanted to just look at the water.
And this is only 4 or 5 days in.
Yeah.
But,
and I mean, I can see it being frustrating too. And also if you don't think it's frustrating, if you're Jonathan and you just love the energy that Maryanne brings, you're like, she's going to help us out in the future too, being so friendly, being so likable, able to draw people in as well. You could use her more so as an asset rather than Mariah, who was just kind of hanging in the background, waiting for something to happen, it felt like.
Yeah, I think it was, Rob has a podcast, Survivor Know-It-Alls. They were saying, like, with Mariah, like, they were just learning her story. It felt like, now who knows with the editing, but like pretty far into the game, like she's sharing this. So she did, like, she was sitting on that and was not obviously as outgoing and open to sharing every single thought in her head like Maryanne appears to be.
Yeah, but if you're on a tribe with Maryanne, how do you get a word in edgewise? How do you talk about yourself if you're a quiet person?
Yeah,
and somebody
right.
is she's just sucking all the air out of the beach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, not, that sounded way more harsh than I meant it to, but it's hard if you're an introverted, quiet person, when you have that person around, the Maryanne, who's just incredibly extroverted, and Trey, you mentioned talking about just enjoying the water or the moonlight or the sunshine. She'd be in there, look at the water, look at the moonlight, look at the sun.
So wet.
Exactly. Like, she has to comment on every goddamn thing. So, anyways.
Yeah.
She's already grating on me, so I don't know how they can handle it.
Right, but if you can handle it, then that's the type of person
Totally.
you want around, right? Is what we're getting at, and I think came into their calculations in terms of like, well, who between the two are we going with here? Yeah. And I think Jonathan does like her, and I think they might even have like, including Omar, they have something already. The three of them. Maryanne included in there.
Sure, the religion alliance. I don't think that's a thing to throw away either. Like, Maryanne's a seminary student, right? And we know that Jonathan has, he's spoken about his faith quite a bit. That's where he met Lex Luger, taught him how to get jacked.
That's right.
And then obviously Omar was talking about his faith as well, and they were able to bond there. So there's a little bit of a connection. And this early in the game, Mariah said she didn't really start focusing on playing until game 4 or until day 4 or 5. It's kind of too late at that point. Yeah. So, some people were trying to rally to keep Mariah and get rid of Maryanne, but obviously Maryanne just had better bonds at that point.
Yeah, I did laugh out loud when Omar at one point says something like, when they're contemplating who they're getting rid of, said maybe Maryanne can have a great romance at Ponderosa.
Yeah,
so nice.
Alluding to Maryanne just telling Probst completely unprompted, like, oh, Zach's gone? I think I love that guy. Like, that's my type of guy. That's my type
the hottest
of
white boy I like.
It's incredible. Like, again, it's amazing television. It's like Probst is not trying to get that out of her. She is like ready to go. Let me share that, which was, whoa.
Yeah, I mean,
didn't expect it.
Honestly, if she somehow gets her hands on some sort of an advantage or an idol and is able to keep it to herself, no one will suspect her at all, right? Because she's so open and forthright with all of her feelings and just enjoying everything that's happening on the island, that if she's able to keep like one thing a secret, it could be a game changer.
Yeah, good luck with that, though. I mean,
exactly right.
Well, especially in today's game. Nobody can keep a secret.
No.
Not at all.
No. But, it is possible if she just... Maybe this was a big wake-up call for her because, she's like, oh, my God, I'm playing Survivor. Let me get my head in the game. And I think you're right. If she does find...
Well, she's got an extra vote.
Yeah.
She does have that now.
Yep.
Which she didn't play last night. Like, I'm wondering if the editing led us to believe this was a lot closer than it was. Because of, like, she doesn't even consider playing an extra vote, which she pulls right there at Tribal Council. Mariah plays the shot in the dark, like we said, so she's pretty convinced, I may not be staying. I just, like, maybe they were, like, trying to make it seem like they always do, that it was like, oh, we're torn over who's going here. I just think in what you're saying about this alliance that they've sort of built, Maryanne, Omar, and Jonathan, and who knows where even Lindsay falls in that, it's like, I don't know. I don't think it was as close as maybe they're trying to tell us.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing the shot in the dark right away at the first vote last week or the second vote this week, like, you must have a feeling. And Mariah's exit interview, she said, I think she said Lindsay winked at her before they were going to Tribal Council, and she's like, ooh, she would never wink at me. Something's up. And she also had Jonathan come lay down next to her and say, oh, I'm really going to miss it when Maryanne's gone.
Oh.
Yeah, just landed on a little bit too thick. But, at that point, what can you do, really?
And also, don't sleep on the Go Train Alliance. It has not been mentioned yet, but Maryanne
and Omar,
they live one Go Train stop away from each other. It has to have come up by now.
Oh, it
on
has
the beach,
to.
right?
I mean, Maryanne would bring it up, and Omar's a talker, too.
Totally.
Like, he's very personable as well.
Of course, yeah. Unless therapist, lawyer, and Canadian are the three things that you don't want to tell your competitors.
And they don't even know what Canadian just won either. They've never seen Survivor.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, no, it's come up. I'm Canadian. The second thing I tell anyone down here is I'm Canadian. And if they're Canadian, well, now we're instantly in alliance.
Talk to me about some stops on a train line.
What's the first thing you tell them?
my name, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm Phil. I'm Canadian.
Yeah. Then maybe what I do is third. I don't know. It comes up quickly. JD, you've been here.
Absolutely.
How many people have you told living in Georgia, in the South, that you're Canadian?
All of them.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yes. That's my point. So, yes, I agree that they've talked about it and that we think there is a Go Train Alliance, which is something I never thought we would say in breaking down Survivor. Yeah, you brought up the the religion part where Omar shares that he's Muslim and that, hey, guys, if I'm not here, you don't see me, I'm not looking for an idol. I'm very likely down at the beach praying.
Yep.
And then Maryanne, again, this sort of goes to what you're saying, that they're probably tighter than even maybe we know that. She says, oh, let me go make you a prayer rug, and makes one out of the
super quick
leaves. Yeah, it seemed like it was. She's like, I got that done, no problem. She's got
Here,
a
I
lot of
made you a
energy.
perfect prayer rug. Took me 5 seconds.
She's like
Go for
that.
it.
Who was the Simpsons character? Oh my goodness, he had a beard. And he was always like a fast talker, like, oh, the hammock district, oh, down in the hammock. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Somebody out there in the live tribe. But he's all like, hey, Homer, you need that? Let me go get that. He's already got it, like in his hand.
Oh, it's Albert Brooks. It was when he's a spy, right? Yeah.
I forgot the character's name.
Yeah.
But maybe that's Maryanne. Like, oh, yeah, you need a prayer rug? Yeah, let me make it. And she's already made it. Here you go.
Yeah.
Let me know again in the in the live tribe who the hell I'm talking about as I show off how poorly I actually know The Simpsons.
That's all right. Yeah. I don't know him as well either because I grew up in a religious household. My mom wouldn't even let me watch The Simpsons growing up. So
Wow.
Beats me. I would have been having to join up with these guys there on the beach.
Yeah, totally.
But I mean, I also thought that was a kind of a cool scene because you will see so many times people just disagreeing about their religions and fighting, and they were both, or like all three of them were very accepting of the others, wanting to help each other learn and wanting to kind of be involved and learn more. So I thought that was cool, and not surprised that they had a little bit of a bond there, just something in common to relate to each other about.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm going to shit on that a little bit.
Okay,
a
go
little
ahead.
bit. I did think
Hank
it was
Scorpio. Thank you.
Hank Scorpio. That's
Thank
it.
you, Zach.
Yes.
That's who I was thinking of.
I found that a little cringe because this is what happened through my heathen eyes. Omar goes, he says, hey, just to let you know, I'm a Muslim. I'm going to be praying every once in a while, 5 times a day probably. So I'm not looking for an idol. Fair enough. Then he goes, if you have any questions about, me being a Muslim or Muslims in general, whatever he says, feel free to ask. Yep. I'm like, okay, a little condescending. If I was on that beach, I'd be like,
condescending?
A little condescending. Oh, there's only 2 billion Muslims in the region. Like, I know the basics. I know you pray 5 times a day, and you don't eat pork and all that, and just he's a generally religious person. Fine, whatever. I'll let it go. But then, even more condescending is like, well, hey, if you have any questions about Christianity, let me know.
Yeah,
I'm like, and
jumped in right away with that.
I honestly think he was being sincere and he was being nice. And as Trey says, in the spirit, like exactly in the spirit that Trey is talking about. But, Omar is probably like, yeah, okay. I live in a 75% minimum Christian country. Like we take Good Friday off and Christmas Day off. Right. We measure time based on your Lord and Savior's death. I think I got the gist. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it was a nice moment.
Was trying to bond.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
He was being sincere.
Yeah. And then Lindsay with the I'm a terrible Jew. Also great. It was like that brought it all around, and it was a nice moment. But I like to be a poison pill, so I did find it the Christianity. If you have any questions about Christianity to a guy who grew up, whether you're in America or Canada, it's a Christian country. Like I got it.
So Sarah in the live tribe says, I took Jonathan's comment as a joke because it made me laugh, but maybe he was serious. I think he was 100% serious. I don't think he was joking at all. So yeah, he was just trying to say, if you've got questions for Omar about Muslims, then ask him. And I am also here if you have questions about Christianity. But it felt like it was like immediately after Omar said it. Right. I think it was. Yeah. So that was pretty funny. But those guys are bros.
Totally.
And that was a fun little segment where we get them talking about how, the odd couple, I guess is what they were putting it. And just one being, well, Omar even says the words meat shield. right?
Meat shield and brain shield.
And yeah, that's right.
I love
right.
that. New term.
Brain shield.
Yeah, I haven't heard that either.
That was
Brain
cool.
shield.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool to hear Jonathan explaining like how Omar's strengths are Jonathan's weaknesses and kind of vice versa.
Yeah.
Like Jonathan's like, I'm going to be great in challenges. I'm going to carry a bunch of firewood. Omar's going to find out voting stuff. We've seen that kind of bromance happen a lot of times in Survivor, but great self-awareness from both of these guys to realize we can help each other out here going forward.
Yeah, this will be, I mean, people are already, I think, invested. I mean, most of these people are very likable as characters on the island, but these two, I think, are sort of at the top of a lot of people's lists. So if they work together, people are going to be super, super excited, especially because, yeah, they sort of complement each other's maybe weaknesses in the game. If one is, of course, stronger, if one's smarter and strategizes more and stuff like that. So that'll be fun to watch. Just back to Mariah, in case you were curious, because she had the whole thing talking about the death of her brother, and she had the pendant, and she said she wanted to bury it on the island. She did not.
Oh.
She still has it. I think she's also happy with that, is what she's saying in exit interviews. But yeah, I think, was it maybe Dalton Ross was like, she shares that story and you know she's going home. Do you just go to her and tell her? But now the problem with that to me is the shot in the dark is in play now. So it's like you always wanted to sort of blindside someone in Survivor, but it's even more so now because they could get lucky, and then then you're really potentially screwed. So it didn't feel like they did, and she still has it.
Yeah, she still has it, and maybe if you're one of the other competitors, you're thinking, I know she wants to bury this. She's still going to be around the beach when she leaves, like it's not like they get her out of the island immediately. She will still have time around, but I think the bigger thing for her is that she finally broke down and cried at Ponderosa, is what it sounded like. She finally let the emotion of her brother passing get to her. Kind of after seeing how Maryanne reacted when Jackson had to be taken out of the game, is what she said.
Yeah, I did read that as well, which is pretty fascinating. So she is gone. I was sort of disappointed as we were learning her story and the type of person she was, because we didn't get much.
Not much.
The first episode is like sort of, who is this person? But the more we saw of her, I was like, oh, I loved the idea of like, she's a stay-at-home mom, right? She might be a teacher of some sort too.
A teacher or professor.
Yeah, but I think it said stay-at-home on screen. But anyway, the idea of like, I think it's cool. She's like, I'm always doing things for people. Like I'm the mother figure. I'm always trying to take care and put other people above me. And then, like you said, JD, I want to be a little more selfish out here and do something for me. It would have been cool to see that transpire. I think a little bit more. And we've had that story before from other people, and they generally don't win. Unfortunately, that mother figure in the end game.
That's a good point.
So it would have been fascinating to see if she could have done it. I have a question for you guys, everybody in the live tribe listening later. Who is the MVP of this episode? JD, I want to start with you. Who would you give it to?
MVP. Yeah. Gotta go Daniel.
Okay, why?
Just the way he played the new Beef Wellington. What do we call him?
Beef Walton.
Beef Walton.
You're talking about
Beef Wellington.
I'm talking about Mike.
You're talking about Jersey Mike in this one, but Beef Walton in 41.
Just that he understands the game so well. He played Mike perfectly. He has this other alliance with Chanel.
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
Chanel.
Okay. Yeah. And just the way he just understands the game so well, and just knowing that knowledge is power, and just working this guy Mike, who I had on such a pedestal last week.
You did.
And he's just turned into a total buffoon for one episode. Just one episode. Like, who loses an idol? I mean,
he may have lost it twice if you saw next time on Survivor.
My favorite thing about that is that he was wearing cargo shorts when he found the thing.
He's in his underwear a lot.
Yeah, but not when he found it. I went back to check. Right. I'm like, why wouldn't he just put it in one of his many, many, many pockets? But okay.
So Mike, for those that don't know, he was talking about working hard and laying low. That's his strategy, JD, which you like. But he's looking for an idol while he's getting all the firewood and stuff like that. Finds one. It's the Beware advantage from last year that we saw. It's the 3-way shared immunity where you're going to have to do the silly phrase. And he wouldn't have known that if he didn't open it. But, man, it would be so tough to find something on Survivor and not open it. It'd be very difficult. And so he does, and then we can get into the whole secret phrase and all that. But yes, then, because no one can do it in today's Survivor, he can't just sit on the information. He tells
Jenny.
First. Okay.
I'm fine with that.
We know that they're a pair already, and I got no problem with that either. And then right away tells Daniel.
Yeah.
To fold him into them. Oh, I mean, come on, you're going overboard. Everybody goes overboard with telling people things.
I do get the strategy, right? He just wanted to bring him in as an ally and to share the information. It would be tempting not to tell somebody that you wanted to work with, hey, I've got this thing, especially an idol that's this complicated, right? He has to, not only does he lose a vote, but he has to work it so that he says this ridiculous phrase in front of everybody, and he's just looking for as much advice and support as possible.
Oh, okay. So that's what you think a part of it was as well. Like, we know Daniel is a brainiac in this game. Let's get his take on it.
Exactly. But he also shared that part of it. He shared with Jenny for it. I thought that she was going to be I'm going to help you. I'm going to guide you through this because I'm smart too. And then it goes to Daniel, who immediately uses it against him and convinces him not to do it. And his plan is to convince him to just sit on this idol forever until they vote him out. And if it works, it's a brilliant plan. Yeah. And he's completely right when he says, I have all of the knowledge with none of the consequences.
Right.
And he's got this guy who's basically beholden to him because he made what is the mistake that everybody is making and telling too many people about your secrets. The game is going to change after this. It has to. I know that this crew didn't see the last season, but it has to change. People have to learn from this, right? I mean,
in the sense of just
shut up, everybody.
Well, it's the opposite. What's going on?
Totally.
People talk.
Well, what about with Drea? And she's like, hey, girls, let's make an alliance. Okay, we're in. By the way, I have an advantage. It's just like, you didn't have to say that part. My God.
Yeah, they were already in.
Right. Well, until they weren't 5 seconds later.
Yeah.
No,
that
but
tribe is going to dissolve.
I mean, like we're not saying anything new here.
No.
You should sit on this information if you can.
Yes.
Outside, of course, the odd time where you're like, I need to really build trust with Trey. Mm-hmm. And therefore, I'm sharing this and we can do this together. I mean, you have to trust. I mean, you can't trust anybody out there, but you sort of have to have a little trust. Right. But they just go telling everybody with the idea of like, I have power, so now you will work with me.
Right.
But the opposite happens because generally these people are smarter players too. Yeah. They're like, well, you have power. That means you're in my way.
Right.
And now I know where it is, so let's just get rid of you and eliminate that. And this is what Daniel's next step with this like sort of idea is like, oh, this three-way shared thing. Well, we just won't get any of them in here. I'll try and convince Mike. We'll either get rid of Mike, or we'll try and just convince him to never say the thing. Or which is brilliant.
It's never said, but I think Daniel knows that if Mike gets voted out, it's going back into the game anyway, and somebody else could find it, right? I mean, that's my assumption.
It did last time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens every time. If somebody has an idol and they get voted out, the idol is immediately back in the game.
It did happen in Survivor 41. You're right. What happens? Mike buries it. He finds it. Yeah. He opens it. Mm-hmm. He buries it. He forgets where it is. I come along. I find it.
Finders keepers?
Is it? Is this a gray area in Survivor? Because I don't know.
That's a great question because
it should be mine. I would think like the next person that found it because you could have kept it.
That's a great. I would guess that if you find it out in like in this Mike scenario where he buries it, he picked a perfect place by 2 trees on a path in a jungle. Hilarious. What's a worse place to keep an advantage? 2 trees in a jungle or in your pants where everyone can see it? Your choice.
It's only better than I'm gonna put it in the water.
Yeah,
right.
I'll bury it. I'll just bury it on the beach, I guess. Yeah, just randomly.
But if you find it there, I think you would get to keep it. But they often people get paranoid and start going through each other's bags.
Yes.
I feel like if you keep it in your bag, you should get to keep it.
Yes.
Then, even if they find it
that's,
there.
I think the rule.
Illegally.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I guess then, so if Mike was maybe a smarter player, maybe he's Daniel in this case, he finds it, he opens it.
And then that's the thing. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, then closes it back up, hides it purposely for then somebody else to find. what happens in that instance with this beware advantage?
I don't think he can do that because he's lost his vote. The moment that he opened it, he risked opening it, and he's lost his vote.
So there could be, though, let's talk this out, where Mike has done this, and then Chanel, let's say she doesn't know at all. She finds it because he's put it back. She could be at a challenge and say this silly soccer phrase because she wouldn't know. Like, are the producers going to tell her? No way.
I think they would. That's a great question. Anyway. I think the producers scoop it up.
Scoop it up?
I don't know. Or they know where it is. They wouldn't allow somebody else to find it. I don't know. It's an interesting gray area. You're right.
Like people are in the live tribe saying you're not allowed to steal idols. Definitely. And I think what Trey's saying from a bag and stuff like that. But to me, I don't know, if I find it and I put it somewhere and then I especially can't remember where I put it and somebody else finds it, how is that stealing? That's not really stealing.
Not really.
Because we're all in theory looking for them out here. That's just a funny, maybe a loophole.
Yeah, like if a DVD player falls off the back of a truck, it's not stealing. You just found it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly right.
The question I kept thinking was, okay, so Mike finds the beware advantage, which means he loses his vote until these are activated, right? If he buries it out there, loses it completely, since he found it, is he still without a vote, but with like no way to possibly activate this?
I guess, yeah, right? Because he's read it, he should remember the phrase. So you really don't need the material paper anymore.
Yeah,
it's not like there's even like an actual item in it. It's just it's a piece of parchment.
Yeah, just straight parchment.
But he couldn't remember what the phrase was. He's panicking, didn't know where he put it. That was a great scene where Daniel's trying to help him find, the fork in the jungle. There's only 30 of those within like a 100-meter radius.
Another reason why Daniel MVP just laughing at him the entire time. He's like, "Shut up, man," and then he goes, I'd be laughing too, probably.
I did like that.
That's great.
It is good.
Daniel, does immediately tell Chanel. And just to go back to this whole thing of people sharing secrets, don't tell anyone, but definitely don't tell someone that's a super fan. Right? Maybe you get away if this is reversed. Daniel finds it and tells like a Mike. I don't know. I just feel like that might stay with him longer. But not. A super fan is going to tell everybody, I think, immediately, basically.
Well,
because they just wanted to, they're using now your power to build trust with other people.
Right.
In Daniel's case, Chanel's.
Yeah. And to be able to use that knowledge to like curry favor with others and be like, look, this guy's got an idol. He doesn't know where it's at, but he's got it somewhere out there, so let's go for it. Knowledge is power. They even named an advantage after that, but these people are just happy to give away their power early in the game because you're looking for anything to bond with somebody out there. You're like, oh, this is important. If I tell you, we'll think it's important together, even though you've only known each other for like 5 days at that point. So not too long, 100 hours.
Are you excited to have this twist back, JD, in our lives? We saw it in 41, all the funny lines about goats on AstroTurf, and what else was it? Can't remember the other ones.
Totally blanking.
Broccoli?
Broccoli, that was people.
Trees.
Yes. But now we have, JD, let me give you what Jersey Mike is going to have to say at one of the challenges out loud to everybody.
Oh, I think I've got it committed to memory.
Oh, you do? Wow, good for you.
Found his idol, huh?
There's such grace in a game of soccer, it makes me cry.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult unless there's a challenge in which there is kicking of balls.
Right.
Working that into the conversation right before a challenge is going to be difficult, but I
don't think it's as difficult as maybe broccoli and
goat on AstroTurf. No, but still, you could be like, "Oh, this is a confusing one, Jeff. I'm more confused than a goat on AstroTurf or whatever." And trees, you could always just talk about food. Broccoli, what was the fourth one or the third one? I can't remember.
Dead relatives or butterflies.
That was the Xander one.
Yeah, he said it like 100 times. I like what you said about the broccoli. This one's easier by far. They're going to a challenge. He's talking about sports, and they gave it to like a guy that looks like he does sports. Yeah. But they gave him the sports one. 100%.
But they gave him a sport that he doesn't like.
That's why they gave it to him.
Wow.
That's why they gave it to him. I think they're like, we're gonna make this guy say something nice about soccer. Got him.
Very funny when he's like, he almost like
Distraught.
Yeah, Daniel might make it work with having him never play it because he's like, you can't say that, man. You don't like soccer.
Yeah.
You can't say that on national television. All your buddies,
They know how
all
much
your
you hate
firefighting
soccer.
buddies, yeah, they're gonna roast you, man. Yeah, that was funny, but I do think it's easier overall. Sorry, so do you like this being back in our lives, JD?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. One more round, and then we're good, I think.
A part of that being because whoever's playing Survivor 43 is going to know this
Exactly.
is a thing, too?
Yeah.
The silly lines.
I mean, and I think that the amulet one is way more interesting.
Okay.
That's also still in play.
Yeah.
It was, I think, alluded to once during this episode, but still.
Sarah says, it's been a long few days, Jeff. I miss sports, like soccer. And you're talking about sport. Sure. And then Ian, soccer is still a team sport. You can tie that into the teamwork angle of a challenge. Yeah, I think it's easier. But
Yeah, I can't wait to see what the next two are.
Yeah. Any guesses?
Any guesses?
Yeah. Will there be a food one? An animal
I got nothing.
one?
I got nothing.
Yeah,
man. I can't even freestyle one
All
here.
right. Well, let us know in the live tribe or anybody listening later or watching later your best guess at the next line, secret phrase that will have to be said. Let's take our first break. We have so much more still to break down from this episode. We got to get into the actual immunity challenge. Maybe we'll put on some blindfolds for this next block.
Nice.
and we'll try and wander around the table. It's a circular table. We can't really hurt our balls too much on any corners here. I guess
Watch your rocks
It's a little
release.
sharp at the front. But anyway, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
If you're looking to get better gut health, more energy, or a stronger immune system in a really easy, natural way, you've got to check out Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens is an all-in-one solution that actually tastes good so you can finally enjoy getting your daily vitamins. With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. You gotta step your adaptogen game up, people. Whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free, Athletic Greens is lifestyle friendly. AG1 contains less than a gram of sugar, no GMOs, and no nasty chemicals. It's one simple thing you can do to take great care of yourself. It's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition with just one scoop of water. Wait, one scoop in a cup of water every day. To make it even easier, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/nodunks. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/nodunks to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Spring is springing here in the South. It's coming. And for the Mellis household, it's that time of year when my wife and I argue about our thermostat before we go to bed. She likes it warm. I like it cool. Luckily, I have a Helix mattress that balances it all out. Helix Sleep has a quiz that takes just 2 minutes to complete and matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why would you buy a mattress made for someone else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you know will be perfect for the way you sleep and perfect for me. Helix mattresses have a special one that is great for cooling you down if you sleep hot and great for saving marriages. They have soft, medium, and firm mattresses as well. Mattresses great for spinal alignment to prevent morning aches and pains, and even a Helix Plus mattress for plus size sleepers. So if you're looking for a mattress, hit the internet. You don't gotta go to a store. You take a quiz, you order the mattress that you get matched to, and the mattress comes to your door shipped for free. You gotta pay for the bed though. You don't ever need to go to a mattress store again. And here's the offer. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com. helixsleep.com/no-dunks. That's helixsleep.com/no-dunks.
Finally, Liquid IV has come back to No Dunks. Yeah. Welcome back, Liquid IV. One goal I have for myself this year, crush a marathon. Let's do it. We're qualifying for Boston. Let's go.
Wow.
And I'm going to be doing that with the help of my favorite hydration product, Liquid IV. 1 stick of Liquid IV in 16 ounces of water hydrates faster and more efficiently than water alone. Stuff tastes great. I've been using it on a lot of my runs. We're talking flavors like watermelon, lemon lime, strawberry, probably my favorite, pina colada, and more. Went for a long run this last weekend, 17 miles. We're getting up there when it comes to the training. And I had this in my water bottle, the Liquid IV, and it's so much better than normal water. So much better. Just that nice little taste. I had the lemon lime this last weekend. It was great. Suddenly I'm like sprinting out there because of this stuff. It contains 5 essential vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C, with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. Obviously huge if you're doing those long runs. It's made with premium ingredients. So grab Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco. Tass, I know you frequent at Costco.
I've seen it.
Can you grab me some next time you go?
Yeah, sure.
Or, you know what? Don't, because you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code NODUNKS at checkout. You probably can't go to Costco, show up to the cash register with your Liquid IV and go /NODUNKS. Or maybe you can. I mean, we'll have to ask, but I don't think you can. So do it online. Go to liquidiv.com. Use that code NODUNKS at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you use the promo code NODUNKS at liquidiv.com. Experience better hydration today at liquidiv.com. Promo code NODUNKS. All right, back with No Buffs here in the Classic Factory, breaking down episode 2 of Survivor 42. Adam in the live tribe jumping in saying it is apparently potatoes have skin, I have skin, am I a potato?
Right.
That's a lot more difficult
bizarre.
than the soccer one.
You're
It
right.
feels like just three almost like separate lines. It's just odd. It doesn't flow like the other ones. And then apparently maybe the last one that we're waiting on is something about bunnies or kittens or something like that. So there is a food and an animal.
Food and an animal and a sport. Perfect.
Right. Okay, so we've talked about Mariah getting voted out and the bromance. So we have a fun question in Tree Mail later about that bromance, and TK's got a top 5 for us. But the immunity challenge, I want to talk about this. This started with Maryanne confessing her love for Zach.
Duh.
Yep. And, then we got into the actual challenge, and it was a blindfolded one. And we've seen these before.
Love it.
Where we have a collar, we have these pairs that are tied together, blindfolded, that have to make their way through this crazy obstacle course, get pieces, bring them back. Then the collar's got to get them all the way back to the table. And I don't remember this little twist, but the collar then telling the still blindfolded people how to put the puzzle together. An easy puzzle, but
It's
still.
a pizza.
Yeah, that's right.
That was a great
from
line.
Jonathan. So some people hate the blindfolded challenges. Some people love them. JD, where do you fall on that scale?
I love them.
What?
Yeah, they're great. I mean, it is, I think on Tyson's podcast today, he was just talking about how it's the great equalizer. Like everybody's, whatever you're good at, throw it out the window, whatever. It's just, everyone is just on the same level physically, right? In this challenge.
Yeah.
And you are completely beholden, or at least dependent upon the caller who has the most pressure on them, really. I mean, how hard would that be? Like, I started watching this one going, you know what? I directed a television show. I could be the caller. By the end of the challenge, it's like, no way am I ever doing that.
Oh, so you say that because of your experience in a control room. There's a lot of voices. You're listening to us talk.
Yeah,
There's a lot of talk going on.
Exactly. And there's many, many people in many different areas of the building that I'm telling instructions to. But
Right.
And I realized they're all visual instructions. It's just like, get a shot of Lee's hair, or
Right.
whatever. But it would be so, it's, we saw Jonathan was like, at one point he was pointing at a puzzle, like pointing at it. It's like, no, it's here, it's here, it's here. But how could you not? Like when the adrenaline is is coursing through you and you're so close and you're close because Jeff is in your ear going, oh my God, it's going to come down to seconds. They get a piece, you get a piece. And Jonathan going, don't freak out, man. And then he starts freaking out. It's just the best. And I love watching people bump into things. It's great. I don't want anyone to get hurt, but it is enjoyable to me just to, bong. And they're adding the coconut.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Off of everything.
Nora did a couple ooh and ah. And look, Roxroy looked like he literally nailed his balls into
gotta protect him.
A corner of a box. That would hurt, and he seemed to be in pain. But Nora did it a couple more times. I'm like, you realize they're adding a sound effect? It just makes it feel like, oh, it didn't make that sound. It may have hurt still, but
as a former sound effects editor, I hear effects that I've used before. Oh, that's Bone Crack number 5 from the Sound Ideas 6000 library. I know that one very, very well.
I did like when Propes, when the challenge is starting and he's explaining to us watching, this is difficult. They're blindfolded, of course, and we got a lot of voices, including my own. And I was like, would you shut the fuck up? That's all I would have been thinking if I
can't stop talking.
Yeah, if I'm Drea or Lydia or John, just shut up, Jeff, for 1 second, because you're not helping.
Not at all. You're making it worse.
Yeah.
Which is probably his objective in that scenario. But I thought this was a great one. I'm with JD. I think they're funny every time, but there were some great lines in this one, starting with Maryanne explaining that Zach was every white guy I ever had a crush on. Very funny. But my favorite one, the one I kept rewinding just to make sure I heard it right. Lydia was the caller for the green team, and at one time she bends down and she yells, "Both of y'all bitches come here!"
I missed that.
I was like, what? Yep, that's what she said. I thought it was also great, Jonathan, with a death metal yell.
Yeah.
It's a pizza! If I make it scary, they'll hear me the best. And then there was the scene, I forget who it was, going left and right, and they just kept yelling, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. They were taking side steps over. I thought that was very funny.
That worked. That was a good instruction.
That was smart, yeah.
I'm putting that in the bank for when if I ever get to do
shimmy.
It. But I'm surprised that Jonathan was the caller because, again, as a sound guy, you want the shrillest voice up there, I think, because you need it. It's got to cut through. It's got to cut through everything. I mean, I did enjoy the death metal voice, but I don't think it was. I think Lydia was just cutting right through that. She was just.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think it was smart putting Jonathan. Also, he's a tank. Just yell, Jonathan, just move forward, and he might just be able to barrel through all of the posts and stuff and break everything. Yeah. Just like the Kool-Aid man running through the wall. Is
Jonathan smash.
He's got propes.
Doing the Loki. Yeah, man.
Yeah. But I'm with you. I was like, I don't know about him doing this. I get the deep voice, the loud voice, but I think the higher octave, but we've seen before in these, don't lose your voice.
Right.
And some people,
Too much yelling.
Yeah. So you got to maintain there. But I'll give Jonathan credit. His team was in the lead.
Absolutely.
So he got them there.
Yep.
And yes, there's a lot of pressure on the caller, but you also need people, and some people are good at this, some people are horrible at this. Get the direction and then compute spatially what the hell you're doing.
Yes.
Some people are brutal at that. Some people are really solid with it. He said, go forward and then to the right. And some people are doing the opposite, especially if they're blindfolded. So
whenever I'm driving my car and Rachel is, the navigator, which she's, in my defense, terrible at, but if she says turn left or turn right, it's a shot in the dark. It's a 50-50 thing for me. I'm turning a direction where I feel like I should be going. I literally do not know my left from my right if it's told to me. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I don't know what it is about me, but it just doesn't register with me. So that's another reason why I'd prefer to be the caller, because it also, you're tied to somebody else. Yeah. So if I'm zigging and they're zagging, this is bad. It's just a bad scene.
Oh, I will say, I don't remember this, so maybe somebody in the live tribe can say, yeah, they've done this before. Maybe you guys know. But the rope, diabolical addition to a blindfolded challenge.
Oh, yeah.
They could have way more fun with that if they wanted to. Because at one point I was like, they're going to be trapped.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be stuck, and there's no way out blindfolded. There's no way the person like 100 yards away is going to be able to like, no, take the rope, put it over, then under, and then spin a little. Like, but, you know, because they're doing that one where, they, I guess, are like, just reeling the rope up, unspooling that thing, and then the one packages on it or one of the puzzle pieces. But like, wow, I was like, I don't remember them having.
I don't remember
ropes like that. We've seen the spinning before and all that, but like, whew.
Also a diabolical thing to be blindfolded and make them spin around, basically.
Oh,
yeah. I loved, like, you would see their strategy, like if Trey was doing it and I would be holding on to Trey's, like, waist, like, spinning with them. But, you know, some people weren't doing that. They're going a little slower, and you don't want to go too fast because then you're definitely stumbling and stuff like that. I guess, I don't want anybody to get hurt over a silly thing like they were blindfolded, but it's funny TV. That's for sure.
Ooh, gotta protect your balls, actually.
Daniel just commenting over there. So yes, Vati, the Green Tribe, they ultimately win. They got their puzzle done first. It looked really close, and I know they get slick with the editing sometimes, but this one was like, oh, this might be like bang, bang, bang. Green wins. Blue, Ika a close second, and then Taku, the Orange Tribe, losing there because I guess, Jonathan he seemed to falter at the puzzle.
Yes.
Either he was or they weren't getting it right. You know, the people putting it in, I guess it was Omar, and I forget who he was tied to there. But, the other tribes did. They put together that puzzle pretty quick.
Did he say previously, Jonathan, that he wasn't a puzzles guy?
Yes, he did about the triangle thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. Yeah. He's like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go build a shelter real quick. But he ended up having to be the puzzle caller for blindfolded people doing a puzzle, which is probably even harder than figuring out a puzzle yourself. Because he described it like a pizza, like I said.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a pizza.
No, I know.
It's more of a cinnamon roll.
Well,
like from the inside with the layers on the outside.
Well, luckily Omar didn't say like, well, how many rings are there? He would have been like, I don't know, 85, 100, I don't know. I'm not good at this. He just goes and builds something. But it seemed to be, like you're right. It was like, I guess it was 3, maybe 4. Yeah. I didn't get a really good look at it. But while we're talking about this, I meant to bring this up last week and somebody tweeted it at me. The idol that they're winning for these, it's a two-parter because, as I said, 2 tribes win. The winning tribe, the Green Tribe, got a lot of fishing gear. Then there was a little less fishing gear for the second tribe. And then last place, obviously, going to Tribal Council. But the actual immunity idol, the top part, the winning tribe, very cool. Cool-looking snake. Yeah. Just looks awesome. The second part of it, it's like a shitty base.
Just the base.
I didn't even notice
That's the second part.
Really?
He goes and hands them just like
a scrap of
wood. It's like nothing.
It's nothing.
That's so weird. They usually are
just as good.
Yeah, they usually are like both sort of cool. One maybe cooler, they're bigger than the other, but this is the base of it.
Pretty funny.
Yeah. So anyway, there was that. What else from this episode did you guys want to discuss? Like I said, we got tree mail later, but any other scenes or moments or players that you want to talk about, Trey?
I don't feel very good. Is it the Blue Tribe that has Drea and Tori right now?
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of them in episode 2. We were with them a lot, of course, in episode 1. But yeah,
to me, this seems like the tribe that is going to definitely break apart when it comes to the merge, because in the first episode, it seemed like they had a young contestants alliance and an old contestants alliance, and as soon as they had that set up, they flipped on each other. Then here they started the girls alliance, to which Tori responds, "Is this a new thought for you?"
Yeah, so rude.
Come on. But then they, of course, instantly turn on that one right away as well. So maybe it's just them not having to eliminate anybody. But it doesn't feel like they're going to stick together when it comes down to it. No.
Yeah. What do you think, JD, about this Blue Tribe? We didn't see much of them, but we did get the Girls Alliance, the Women Alliance, but then them saying, Swati and Tori, like, well, let's get her out. She got a lot.
I mean, I love that. I love the classic. Yeah, whatever it is, whether it's Girls Alliance or whatever alliance, it's like, oh, we gotta stay. In this case, women strong. Cut to, I'm all in with keeping women strong, but I don't trust her. Yeah. You know, it's just great. It's just what I love about Survivor. I agree. They seem to have the most friction on this tribe. They are, you know, but it's hard to tell because with the edit, it's like what when Tori's burst out, this is news to you, as if like, you know, I thought that she was being super rude. And then there was another scene where Roxroy is talking to Drea. Was it Drea who's somebody's in the smoke?
Yeah, Drea.
And he's like, get out of the smoke, girl, like that, right? But I don't think it was meant that way. I think it was just like a sort of, you know, like, hey, just get out of the smoke.
Yeah,
you're
going
in the
to, like,
smoke.
you'll pass out or something.
Yeah, don't you remember Michael Scoopum? He fell into the fire. And it was just like I found that to be good natured, but the way it was edited, it almost seemed like he was just being the overbearing dad figure again.
Right.
But
is that where we're setting up to go then? If they lose, that like he's possibly out.
I mean, yeah, maybe
the breadcrumbs to that's the reason. And then we saw it in episode 1. He was like bossing everybody around, and even he realized he had to tone it down and stuff like that.
Yeah, but if you, she was totally fine with it. Like, if it was really a thing, they would have cut to her confessional going, this guy is bossing me around again. You're not my dad, man. Roxroy, get out of here.
Didn't she say she had a reason why she liked it? It was for like the bugs, wasn't it?
Yeah, she was like, I'd like it because there's no bugs on me.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Sitting in the smoke. I just don't get. I don't even mind her going to Swathi and Tori and saying, "Hey, let's do it. Women's Alliance, let's go." But why then tell them? You didn't have to tell them all the stuff you have.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that. I bet they would have been like, hell yeah.
Sure.
Like, sure, that makes sense. But then you tell them, I got all this stuff. And then they're like, well, hold on. Okay, we could do an alliance, but you have all the power.
Yeah.
And you got all the ammunition. So it's like, well, maybe we'll just get rid of you. And then it will either, then in their heads, and maybe it goes back into the game or stuff like that. Like, then we have a better chance of getting it. Why did she do that part? She didn't need to.
She's got the amulet and
the extra vote.
The extra vote. And
I think she told them both.
Really? Oh, wow.
I think she did.
I missed the amulet part.
Maybe she didn't tell the amulet part.
She told it on her Chiron. I know that. It's that extra vote and amulet.
But did she tell them? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, definitely about the extra vote. But anyway, I don't think you needed to do that.
No.
You just went, fine, you want to form this bond? Get ready for the next vote. Okay, that means it's going to be Romeo or Roxroy. But then you just went one step further. It's like, yeah, you didn't need to, I don't think.
I think that's a thing. I think that's people think that they have to oversell themselves. You know, like, let's form an alliance, and here's why you can trust me. Because nobody trusts anybody. I'm giving you this information. I have this advantage. Hopefully she didn't say anything about the amulet. But, who knows? But yeah. But this is the new Survivor. Tell everybody everything all the time and then get voted out. And that's why people are going to get smart the next season, I would imagine.
I don't know. It's the younger generation, JD.
Is it?
I don't know.
I guess. Sharers.
Cool.
They're sharers.
They're sharers, yeah. Let's get everybody's thoughts on Hai and his dilemma about whether or not he was going to eat meat. He's a vegan, and we had, I think we almost opened up with this, right? It was Jenny and Chanel looking for food. They find this giant, slow, dumbass hermit crab.
That was a dumb crab.
Yeah, and so they get it, and then they cook it, and everybody's chomping down on this. For a crab, it felt like people were actually getting some nutrients from it. It was a pretty big one. But then Hai tells them, I don't eat this, and what do I do? And he's contemplating. You got Mike apologizing for wanting a burger. I thought that was really funny. And then Hai has a bit of a breakdown. He's just like, man, I just thought there'd be rice here.
That's rice.
Yeah, and there isn't, and ultimately decides to eat it.
You gotta eat.
He has to.
You gotta eat. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he was in a tough spot, especially considering the no rice, and that's a huge change. And we saw that it had an effect during the last season, the lack of food. So, I mean, for me, if I were ever to get on Survivor, my morals and my life here completely different than they are out on the island. Like, I don't like lying to my friends, but I'm gonna lie to them straight to their face every single day on Survivor. Just like Hai, he doesn't want to eat meat products, but you got to stay alive when you're on Survivor.
Yeah.
So I think he made the right choice.
100% he made the right choice. I mean, imagine you're a vegan and you're like, you're contemplating, should I go on Survivor? Because literally all I'll be eating is rice for 39 days
rice,
or whatever.
coconut. Yeah.
Rice and coconut, sure. I can wrap my head around, but you arrive day one on the beach and Jeff is like, there's no food.
Yeah.
No food. And the next today or this week's challenge, the reward was fishing gear, which you're not supposed to be eating as a vegan. I mean, it's tough. Like, I would have almost walked if it was like day one. Like, I can't be out here and not eat. I'm skinny already. I'm hashtag Skinny Alliance already. You know, so of course, eat the crab, man. I love also with that, they just come across the crab, right? And, you know, they daintily try to pick it up. They do it with a leaf and everything, but it takes two of them and they're like grossed out by it and they're kind of freaked out by it. And fair enough, I would be too, because they have claws and I'm a city guy. But, you know, and then cut to Chanel going, well, I guess I'm a provider now, you know? It's just like, you almost stepped on a crab and now you're a provider.
Hey.
Okay, fine.
Hey, what has Mike brought back to the...
Fair.
Would have lost the crab.
Yeah. He's like, I found 10 crabs, but I lost them on the way back.
That's right.
I had them.
They were in my cargo shorts and they made off with my idol. But
oh, wow.
can you imagine?
That's a
Crab ate my idol.
The crab can't vote at tribal council. He's got the beware advantage.
I also think that sequence did not unfold the way it was presented to us. I think.
Oh, okay.
I think that
because he got over it real quick.
Oh yeah,
in the edit.
Well, exactly. It was just like he's having a complete mental breakdown away from the fire. Everybody's gathering around, and then suddenly we're back at the fire. I think they cooked up the crab. It smelled delicious. The guy's starving. He was reluctant at first. He took a bite of the crab, and then he says, "You see him say." It's good. I feel good, but I feel guilty. And then it looks like he's about to break down. And I think he broke down and then he went. Ooh. And then they were consoling him. So not that that's a huge deal, but I don't think that he was hemming and hawing as long as we think he was. But that's just a hot take. That's a...
Oh, I got a hotter take.
Go on.
He's not a vegan.
Ooh.
He just got the SIA money.
Oh, you think it was strategy?
He just got the SIA money. That's $100,000 in his pocket. That guy's eating burgers 24/7. That's brilliant. I'm kidding.
Wow. He had dogs on his socks. So he had dogs on his socks.
He loves dogs. He's really playing up to SIA.
That's right.
I love animals.
Yeah.
I wear them on my socks and I don't eat them.
As you can see, I'm a fan of animals.
No,
I do love animals.
I think he's getting that SIA money if he doesn't eat the crab, isn't he?
Ooh.
I'm just saying, in my twisted mind, he's next level thinking here. And I've heard Rob bring this up before, like seasons prior when SIA would give someone $100,000. Ty got it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Back in the okay, I don't know the whole list of it, but there's been a lot of people. And I remember Rob saying at one point, will people start almost strategizing like with that in mind? To go out, I may not win the $1 million, but I can maybe win the SIA money.
Maybe.
You know what? The type of player she likes, her values, her belief. You
Absolutely.
can lean into them. So this guy's brilliant.
Jeff, I'm talking to you, Jeff Probst. Please cast J.E. Skeets. Because he'll be the best villain we've had in 10 years. Back. Not only is he going to go for the $1 million, he's going for the SIA money under false pretenses. It would be move over, Johnny Fairplay.
That would be amazing.
That'd be great.
That would be pretty amazing. But you'd have to play the long con because the SIA money wouldn't be coming. And I do see Adam saying, I don't even know if they still do it anymore, if she's still giving the money. But let's say she does.
Yeah.
The long con, though, is you have to lean into that you're a vegan, you love animals more than anybody else. You go out at the merge, but you're there at the end, the final episode where they all come back together, the reunion, and then SIA gifts you the $100 million, but then you gotta be like, you gotta get the paycheck and then pull out a burger. And that is the ultimate villain move.
I love it.
Took your money.
I love it.
Oh my God. That'd be fun. Rick Devens got the Sia money,
Did he?
apparently. Yeah, I read that.
Wow.
He was a great character his season.
He was, yeah. So it's not, I mean, yeah, it's not always the person that just loves animals more. But, yeah.
But it helps.
It definitely doesn't hurt.
It really helps.
It definitely hurt. But
How do you eat crab out on an island? How are they like cracking open the legs?
Tyson was talking about that on his podcast today, and they're not like,
there's barely
restaurant.
anything on these.
Like a soft shell crab more so.
Yeah, you're basically, every bite you take, you are testing it with your teeth, is what he said. So
Like the shell included.
The shell, like
which there is calcium in, right?
That's exactly what he was saying. So I don't think it's pleasant, but I think if you haven't eaten in 5 days, it's the most delicious thing you've ever eaten.
Yeah, that's true. Usually when they get food on the island and they cook it up, the first thing, you get a lot of like, oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
We didn't get a lot of that. Like somebody said it was like, I guess, was it Mike that was like, it's sort of like buttery? Or did he say
good?
But they weren't going overboard, so it probably wasn't that good. But they're like anything to sustain.
You're right. I mean, we've seen people like drool over rats. They're like, this rat was
That's what I mean.
fire.
They usually go crazy like over the food, like no matter what it is, and they weren't even doing that unless it was edited out. Any other random notes, or we'll take one more break and do tree mail. But anything else you got to?
Yeah, a couple of quick Omar notes. His ostrich shirt is crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
That shirt
Nora
is
brought that
wild,
up.
man. It's like an orange maned ostrich, I suppose.
Again, playing for the Sia money.
There you go. There you go. How does this help with the Sia money? Omar also said, I didn't pee standing up until I was almost 22.
Oh my God, that was amazing. That
help?
was one where I rewound
You're
and
like,
said, "What?
Excuse me?
Hold on."
22?
Yeah,
I was surprised.
It's a long time.
Yep.
I'm gonna start asking everybody that question. Like I just want to know now.
Message my dad and ask him if he knows. Important question.
JD, what age did you? What age were you when you started peeing standing up?
Ever since I can remember.
Yeah.
Although I do remember when I was in probably grade 1, I was still pants all the way down to the,
Ankle style.
to the ankles,
yeah.
like in school at the urinal sort of thing.
Yeah.
Then a grade 3 comes along and pulls you away from the urinal.
Yeah.
So that
Or the
stunted
pushing.
me. Oh, that's even worse.
Pushing's worse.
That's worse. So.
Yeah.
I retired to the stall for grade 2, maybe to 3, not sitting, but just like, don't fuck with me, grade 3s. I'm just figuring this stuff out, man.
JD, do you have any other random notes from this episode? We're moving forward in this
Just,
season?
I loved one small thing.
Yeah.
The shot of the moon. Going to tribal council, I don't know if you saw it. It was like a close-up of the moon. It was just like, all I wrote down on my notes was tribal on the moon. Just looked like an establishing shot of, this episode we're doing tribal council on the moon. That's it.
Wow, I wonder if Survivor had stuck with the plan of shooting a new season in a new location every season, would we eventually have gotten to the moon?
Wow.
Makes you think. Now they're just all in Fiji, back-to-back seasons, they record them, and we've been there for what? 10 seasons running or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you laugh, but it was a joke that Fast and Furious, they're going to have to go to space sometime.
Jeez, you're right.
Unfortunately, they settled on Fiji, so we'll never get the zero gravity tribal council we all want to see so bad.
That's unfortunate. All right, well, let's take one more break, and when we come back, we'll get into Tree Mail. You guys send in some great questions. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, here's a live ad read for you.
Okay.
I was clicking around the Masterclass website this morning on the quest for Inspirado for today's live ad read. And the thing that caught my eye today, Nancy Cartwright teaches voice acting. Straight up Bart Simpson.
Oh, that's who that
cool.
is.
Yeah.
Teaching a class? I hate school. Wild stuff.
Don't have a cow, man.
Eat my shorts, Lee. It made me think, could I be a voice actor?
Sure.
Probably not, to be quite honest. Like, I think it's funny enough that I talk for a living.
Yeah, me too.
I would say after my wide hips, my voice is one of my least favorite things. Wide hips, number one, voice number two. But if I ever wanted to try a career as a voice actor, I'd start with Nancy Cartwright's course on Masterclass. Because with Masterclass, you can learn from the world's best minds, anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace. With over 100 classes from a range of world-class instructors, that thing you've always wanted to do is closer than you think. You can get unlimited access to every masterclass and 15% off an annual membership by going to masterclass.com/no-dunks today. That's masterclass.com/no-dunks. Terms apply.
Cowabunga.
This morning, my 4-year-old child was sitting at her mini breakfast table, scarfing some Lucky Charms, and I asked her to make my pick'em game selection for me. I said, who is going to win? The Detroit Pistons or the Miami Heat? She proclaimed, the Miami Heat! Then, she farted. And she said, oh, my butt said no. So, I said, great. Because I didn't want to pick the Miami Heat. I'm picking the Detroit Pistons. Sometimes you need help, finding what you want to say from an outside source, and that's where Grammarly comes in. It doesn't fart for you, but Grammarly is more than a spelling and grammar checker. It's an all-in-one writing tool that allows you to clearly and effectively communicate your ideas. Grammarly's free and premium features can save you time and give you the confidence of knowing your writing is professional. Grammarly helps you strike the right tone. You need to go informal, you're talking to friends. Sometimes you got to get professional. What I like is Grammarly Premium's full sentence rewrites, because I can get stuck. Sometimes if a sentence isn't great, I try and correct one part of it. Oh, this is where it is. This is where it is. But no, I just need a whole jumble. I need a whole restart, and Grammarly Premium does those whole sentence rewrites I like. Get through those emails and your work quicker by keeping it concise, confident, and effective with Grammarly. Go to grammarly.com/no-dunks to sign up for a free account. And when you're ready to upgrade to Grammarly Premium, get 20% off for being our listener. That's 20% off at grammarly.com/no-dunks.
All right, back with No Buffs. Let's get into a little tree mail. Okay. Keep sending in your questions to nodunks@theathletic.com. Just put No Buffs or Survivor in the header. It'll help Tass, who does a lot of our email work, help him out. Yeah. He can just forward that to us immediately. We got some good ones here. We actually have some in the live tribe that I almost have to throw at you guys.
Sure.
Grant asked a great one here, joining us live. And he wanted to know, because, I don't know if you saw this, JD, I know Trey has, that Russell Hantz has put up the infamous JT letter in Heroes vs. Villains. It's for sale on eBay.
How much?
Right now it's at $11,300.
Wow.
Yeah. So the question from Grant is, what Survivor piece of memorabilia would you like to own? Well, I guess really the question is, do you guys want to pool our money together and buy the I saw you looking over my shoulder. You're like, we should buy it and put it up on the set.
Episode.
It's signed by all the heroes at the time there. I think it's Rupert and Amanda.
Wow.
And
Colby
JT
Donaldson,
himself.
very cool signature, I'll say.
Okay.
I was like,
There you
nice
go.
handwriting this guy has.
So yeah, okay. Should we buy it? Is one, JD, and then two, is there something else you'd like to get your hands on?
I think I'd like a pair of Jeff's khakis, maybe. Frame them. Put them right under Charles there, maybe.
Okay. You want something Propes related? Interesting.
Oh, yeah. Of course. A torch would be cool.
Torch would be cool.
Whose torch, though? That's a good question. Russell's torch might be actually pretty cool.
Okay. Trey, you got anything?
I like this suggestion from Adam Katz, who says maybe the Pontiac Aztec Series 2. That might go for less than $11,000 at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know if car shortages these days. That's good.
Slightly used Pontiac Aztec.
Slightly used. didn't it like turn into a tent or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Funny ass.
And didn't
Those are wild.
Boston Rob and Amber consummated that thing, I think. Was it them in there?
I don't know.
Oh, another good suggestion from Jordan in the live tribe, the fake stick idol from Micronesia that just has
that's good.
like a smiley face on it. That's a good one.
A good one. Anything from
the
Coach
chicken.
would be funny.
Yeah.
Like his
Feather.
his jacket.
His jacket. How about Philip Shepard's pink undies?
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, that'd be nice because then I could have like an underwear set going.
That's right.
Because I'd have my ripped
That would be very
underwear
nice.
when Shaq gave me a wedgie on the starters, and we could have Phillips, and then we'll have to find a third pair to complete the trifecta.
Love it.
Maybe Saks underwear will send us some custom no buffs underwear or something like that.
Not an ad yet.
Not an ad yet. Okay, so that was a good one there from Grant. Okay, so this one is from Kevin here in Tree Mail. I'm enjoying the season so far, and I think we have a solid cast here, but I was wondering how you guys felt about the trailer that was first shown at the end of last season. The specific part of the trailer that stood out to me was the part where Tori finds one of the phrase-activated idols. Maybe this is why we know this potato line. It's possible. This scene wasn't shown in episode 1, and so I knew she wasn't going home at Tribal Council, even though it seemed like it was either her or Zach. So until we actually see the scene of her finding the idol, we know she isn't going home. Does this bother you guys as much as it bothers me? That's from Kevin. Well, I didn't even realize this happened, or I'd forgotten, I guess. But what do you think, Trey?
It does now.
Yeah, no, I'm angry.
Yeah, I had completely forgotten this. I honestly hadn't thought about it once since the reunion last year until I saw this dastardly email from Kevin. It's probably impossible to completely avoid spoilers in, like in a coming next season sort of thing. But this one definitely seems avoidable to me, especially if you know that Tori's going to kind of like be in the mix for being eliminated in the very first episode. But maybe they're just trying to like at the end of season 41 saying, yeah, we're bringing back the crazy words. You're going to hear some silly phrases.
Yeah.
Remember that? So I understand it, but like just show us like the Mike one where we know he finds it kind of really early and he wasn't really at risk of going home in the first episode. So yeah, very good, but I'm just glad I have a dumb memory with regards to that, so I completely forgot.
Yeah, JD, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, same. I had no recollection. I'd obviously watched it, and actually I watched this trailer before this season started, like recently,
right?
And I still didn't remember. But yeah, I mean, this is my complaint about trailers in general. They show too much. Well, why not just have one of their the dream team, right? The people who actually test out the challenges and stuff. Just have them stand in and have them make it look like they're. That's a good point. Because I never would have made the difference. Like it wouldn't have mattered. Like when
hold on. You want the dream team, as they're called.
Yeah.
To make basically a fake trailer?
That's right.
Well, then why just, why even make one at all?
Because the point of it is to be like, these wacky phrases are coming back, and then have one of them who maybe looks like
But I love
Tori.
the idea, like, so you just want, like, there's just like a black woman, but it says Mike at the bottom, and this woman playing the role of Mike in the trailer.
Okay, that's a fair point, but it's just... Or just don't. Like they used to do, like, remember when they hadn't shot them yet, it was just like blood versus water.
Yeah.
And then there's water, and then they pour some blood in it, right? And they're sort of like, those were the trailers back in the day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Or also watch the trailer at the time they release it, and then, like Trey just said, just forget about it immediately.
Yes.
Like everybody normally does. You know,
Right.
I don't remember a single thing in it. But
I mean, I think
Kevin
that's why they should bring back the subtitles. I know I'm alone on this, but blood versus water or brains versus bronze versus whatever. It's just like lean into that for the trailer. That's the hook to get people in, and then they just abandon it pretty much anyway.
Yeah, they do after 3, 4, or 5 episodes.
So it's just they have to show stuff now, especially this season because. They had limited resources. It was a limited season. They have less footage, obviously. So, just bring back the subtitles.
Well, Survivor 42, unlock your mind.
Yeah, doesn't have to mean anything.
Had a bunch of locks being unlocked.
Right.
Little brain shots.
Yeah. I like it.
Brain shots for the brain shield. Wow, maybe this is unlock your mind. First time we ever had a brain shield.
Omar is my pick to win it all too.
Oh, wow, man, that's smart. But JD's right. Like, we don't need to see the people that are going to be in this season if they're not returning players. So, like, if you saw if you saw Tori back in November, you're like, there's going to be a woman on this season.
Wow.
There's one on every season.
Yeah, I think
Also-
it's Brad here saying Survivor really doesn't need a trailer at this point.
Right.
It's season 42. Yeah, outside of returning players to get you hyped. Like, wow, so-and-so is back. Awesome. I will be tuning in. Guess what? I'm tuning in regardless, but sorry.
I would also be surprised if Tori isn't the one that finds the
A
idol.
little slick editing here, maybe.
Right,
Yeah.
because they share everything with everybody. It could be like Swathi found it, gave her the note, and she's reading it out loud, and that's what we're seeing in the trailer. I would not be surprised if that's the case. In which case, all is forgiven.
So what are we going to look back on Survivor 41 and call if we're adding, the sub headline of it? Is it the game within the game?
Yes,
It almost has to be.
It has
for
to,
us
yes.
at least.
Yeah, for us. Yeah.
Either that or the shillelagh of time.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Well, I like that too. That's good.
Yeah.
And this one right now is Unlock Your Mind, but it's only episode
Still
2.
early.
Yeah,
Still early.
Early days.
Okay. Here's another one. This one came through maybe 10, 15 minutes before we jumped on stream here and did no buffs. It's from @Brian_Swain. By way of Twitter, of course. What are some of your favorite bromances in Survivor history? Can we get a Survivor bromance top 5? Obviously alluding to what we talked about, Jonathan and Omar. Nice bromance here. What do you think?
Nice bromance. Will they make the top 5 at the end of the season? We shall see if they stick together. Here's a nice top 5 for you, thrown together really quick.
Yeah.
At number 5, Earl and Yao Man.
Mm-hmm.
Survivor Fiji is what it was called way back when. This was the
right.
14th season. They were a nice match together. Went pretty far. Earl ended up winning. Yao Man had the immunity idol necklace sort of shenanigans with dreams, I think was who
Absolutely.
he ran into.
There was a car involved in
There
that.
was.
I'm not
There was
sure
a
it was
car.
a Pontiac.
Wasn't an Aztec.
It wasn't an Aztec.
No.
No.
It wasn't an Aztec. But yeah, they went pretty far. Earl, like I said, won. Yao Man could have maybe made it to the finals if he didn't have everything go down with dreams.
I think Earl is one of the most underrated winners.
I agree.
He's
all
just
time.
never come back, right?
Nope.
Smart. If I won, well, I'm a sucker. I get on the internet and talk every single day, multiple times a day.
Yeah.
But I like to think that if I won Survivor, I would just call it quits.
Yeah,
You'll never see me
you've
again.
come back twice today.
Yeah, I can't stop
Let
coming
alone
back.
next season.
Oh, you want me back, Jeff? No? All right, I'll be here anyways.
You did a show. You went home. You did a show, and now you're back here doing a show.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do another one back then.
Wow.
Yeah, this one's a private
Respect.
show. Yeah. All right, number 4, Ian and Tom from Survivor Palau. This was such a dramatic relationship because in the final challenge, Tom basically guilt trips Ian into like hopping off after 12 hours on those wiggly pedestal pole kind of things. Ian felt really bad because he had been making the same promises to Tom as he had to another Survivor contestant. So Tom said, you better drop off. And for whatever reason, Ian agreed with him and Tom won easily in the final tribal council.
It's a weird bromance, only in the sense it felt very father-son relationship between the two of them. I mean, there's some bromance still there, no doubt.
Yeah.
But that was crazy, Tom. That was pretty twisted.
Pretty twisted.
In the young man's mind when he got through to
Especially after 12 hours, man. Like,
Oh God.
you could maybe convince me the first 2 hours. Like, if you're feeling really bad, but after 12 hours, I'm like, yeah, I do feel bad, but you should have asked earlier.
Yeah.
I was feeling more generous earlier. I guess not, though. At number 3, I would say perhaps the platonic ideal of Survivor bromances, JT and Stephen Fishbach from Survivor Token Teens. They went to the final 2 together. They were very much the Jonathan and Omar, like, smart guy and social guy put together. They went to the final 2 together, and JT won 7-0. Yeah, that was a blowout.
rough.
Big time blowout. But he would have never made it there without Fishy.
That's right.
Would have never made it there.
Yeah, that's I see the live tribe, Steven and Fishback coming up. Sorry, Steven and JT coming up a lot.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, so they were a great bromance. The next number 2 on my list, the next group, the next duo, Dom and Wendell Holland.
Oh,
Yeah.
not number 1. Okay.
No, not number 1 for sentimental reasons, but I thought they played it the best. They went for the JT and Fishback route where they're like, you could win the game, I could win the game. We're not going for each other right now. Let's get together.
Yep.
They made it to the final 2. or I guess the final 3 in tribal council. They both got 5 votes, so the third place Laurel had to place a vote. She obviously voted for Wendell, and he wins. Like, that was an awesome season going down to it, and you're like, either of these guys has a great chance because they played the same game together, like alongside each other the whole time.
That is a great one. To me, I'm shocked it's not number 1, just in the sense that they really seem to like each other too. And like you said, both felt, I can beat him. He might be me though, and let's find out. And came down to a tie.
Yeah, I mean, they had the perfect read on it. They tied. They're like, I can beat him, he can beat me. Let's just see how it turns out. And, Wendell just had that little bit better relationship that pushed him over the edge. But my number 1, much like how I will always say Survivor Season 1 is my favorite season of Survivor, it's Richard Hatch and Rudy Boesch.
Yeah.
The OG bromance. A lot of great lines in this one. I think that they were cast kind of expecting to be adversaries. Richard as a gay man, Rudy as an older gentleman. Perhaps they would beef on the island, but it was completely the opposite. At one point, Rudy said of Richard, he's fat, but he's good. They were a hilarious mix together. Richard obviously finally went to the final tribal council. Rudy made it far as well. They were in the final immunity challenge together. Hands on a hard idol. That's one of my favorites from way back when. You had to keep your hand on it. But the twist was that even when you stepped off the pedestals to go to the next pedestal, you had to keep it on it. And that's when Rudy lost. He took his hand off in the midst of like switching pedestals. So he lost. Wigglesworth versus Hatch. Some classic moments there at the final tribal council. So that's my top 5.
Anything to add to that, JD? Did you miss any, or do you like it?
Yeah, I got a couple of what about this guy, but I think it's a solid list. Uncle Cliffy and Woo.
Nice.
Ooh, good one.
I mean, an odd couple for sure. I mean, he was, a basketball star, and Woo was a basketball fan. So I mean, it was kind of cool that Woo was the only one on the island who realized who Cliff was. I would also like to add. I guess you got everybody. Jason and Scott Pollard. They had a bromance.
They definitely did.
And they were sort of both villainy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they, I mentioned it before on this show, just them causing shit was just fun for me. Right. They were in a snit, but they were just like, well, if we're not having fun, then no one else is going to have fun, so let's hide everything. So I enjoyed that.
Well, then they were screwed by Ty, too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a great one.
That's a really good one. And then also, I can't remember the other 2 guys, but Christian Hubecki?
Yep.
He had a bromance with 2 other sort of broy bros. I cannot remember their names.
Well, the mayor of Slamtown, or
right. That's right. Yeah.
Very Jonathan-like.
Yeah.
What's his name? John too?
John Morrison?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
He's a professional wrestler.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Right. And who was the other guy?
He had another. Yeah.
There was 2 of them. They were like a threesome. It was a brosome, a bro threesome, and I just loved how chuffed Christian was being in. He's like, I've never been in this kind of relationship with guys before. He's like a guy's guy all of a sudden, and it was just totally.
Oh, the brochachos.
The brochachos. That's what they're called. Yeah. And that was just a delight. I love that guy. I wish he would come back to play Christian. But anyways,
those are good. The only other one I see here in the live tribe was Spencer and Jeremy.
Good.
Which was very Fishback GT like to some extent, and. I'll throw out a Jeff Probst and Cochran.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
That's a bromance in a weird way.
100%.
One hosting the show,
100%.
one playing the show a couple of times. But fun question there from Brian. Okay, final one here. What would you wear on Survivor? This is from Songcrafter. Left it in the YouTube comments of last week's show. So thank you so much. And everybody subscribe and like No Buffs on YouTube. What are you wearing on Survivor, Trey?
I think about this every single episode. Every single episode. I'm like, this is like the biggest decision I would make. Number 1 thing I know I'm wearing for sure is my Carhartt Bulls hat.
Okay.
I'm going to become the Bulls version of Boston Rob. I don't think Chicago Trey sounds great. Illinois Trey.
Bulls Trey?
I'll take Bulls Trey. That's fine. Some very short shorts. Probably like a cool pair of Nike trail running shoes. And I'm like in between. Like, do I want a party shirt? You'll see somebody show up in a party shirt. Omar kind of has one on this season, but I also kind of just want to wear sleeveless. Like, ideally, I would like to wear a basketball jersey, but I think they would frown upon that.
Right.
I think Bulls logo is probably pushing it.
Yeah.
But like a straight up, maybe a no dunks basketball jersey, that'd be all right.
That'd be great.
Promo work.
Oh, it'd be amazing. I don't think they're going to let you do that though either.
Yeah.
But okay, I think you can get away with the hat. Because they let you see the Nikes that they're wearing.
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
For sure.
So your shirt is sort of undecided, but you're
I don't want to be wearing a shirt much
okay.
in general.
Would you go with a button-up shirt though that you could leave open? Do a couple.
I would like.
I want options with my shirt.
I definitely picture you in a shirt, like a fun sort of Lee Ellis all-star shirt.
A swaggy shirt.
But yeah, a swaggy shirt with like a tank top underneath, and that's your sleeveless to go.
Yeah.
That's
I can see
good.
that
That's
one.
good. Yeah. That's probably what I would do. The one thing I know I would not wear is a suit jacket. I'm always like, when I see the guys who are sitting there with a suit jacket on, it's probably warm. But I don't think so, Tim.
No. It gets cold at night, they say. Yeah, you might need it.
For sure.
What about you, JD? What are you wearing?
Yeah, I've put no thought into this.
okay.
I basically dress like I'm on Survivor here in the Classic Factory every day. I mean,
You sort of do.
I like, t-shirt. I got socks and my Birkenstocks on, wool socks. And, what I really love, though, is when people take their regular outfits and they sort of ninja-fy them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Daniel was doing it this week. I couldn't find a great shot of it, but here he is. He's got the high socks and then the cargo shorts, and then he was. You can almost see it better in this shot here. He's walking away. This would be my other look, by the way, with Mike in just his underwear and the buff. But see how the socks go all the way up?
Yep.
And he's got his buff is sort of all the way down right to his eyebrows kind of thing. And it's like ninja mode. I love it. I love that sort of. I would dress like that in everyday life if I could. Just walking around. So
Yeah, he's protecting himself from the sun.
Yeah.
yeah, and the
elements,
bugs probably.
Yep,
Yeah,
cover up that skin.
smart.
Here's what I'm wearing. JD, I know you have a photo. I'm wearing what Jonathan wore to Tribal Council last night. Look at this look. For those listening to the podcast, I'm not really sure how to describe this. It's sort of poncho-like, but it's like he made it on the island.
Yeah.
Like he found a piece of fabric and a little bit of string.
He
Maybe
looks
a
like
needle.
an apostle or
Yeah. What? I mean, it's almost, why are you even wearing anything at that point? It's so far off his shoulders.
He also, I think, was wearing like very flowing linen pants. It looked like. I think this guy spends a lot of time on the beach, so he knows how to keep it cool.
Yeah.
The turtle necklace is also hilarious to me.
Yeah. It's,
he's on the turtle tribe, isn't he? Like,
Ooh.
is he?
well,
Maybe that's a microphone.
No, you're right, because I got upset that the orange tribe was the turtle, I thought, and then the green tribe was the crab. And it didn't make any sense to me. Yeah, I think you're right.
Maybe. It's a great look.
That's just a free-flowing, loose look, though.
I'd follow that guy anyway.
I know. I mean, now that you said that, like the apostle vibe to him, I see it.
He also, to me,
People are
looks.
saying he looks like Andre the Giant in The Princess Bride. Totally.
Yeah.
He looks like jacked Charlie Day to me a little bit.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Isn't Charlie Day jacked? Isn't he already jacked? I thought.
I mean, he ain't this big.
No.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And then I said he looks like Party Boy
Yeah.
from Jackass. He's like a souped up version of that.
He's also Sawyer from Lost vibes.
Yeah.
Oh,
general.
yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
because it's on the beach, but he's a great looking dude.
Yeah. Good looking surfer Jesus, as they're pointing
Yeah, I
out
love
in
it.
the live tribe show at the Paul there. So anyway, that's what I'm wearing. And his size, too.
Oh, it would be comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a full-on blanket on me. But then, I think they definitely have some say in what you're going to wear out there. The producers do. There's the whole color vibe of things. Like, well, you got to bring a blue one and a green one and an orange one. That would be more stressful than playing the game to be. Yeah.
Picking out your stuff and seeing what they're going to choose for you.
Yeah.
I would also want to be bartering my clothing items when I'm out there. Like you'll see somebody like, can I have your jacket or something along those lines?
Yeah.
Just sharing clothes. Like, I've never met this person. You want to trade clothes for the rest of our lives? Why not?
I would need Tyson or Rob or people that have played more frequently, Wendell or whatever, to tell us. But like, they get way more clothes than they used to get, right?
It seems like they have more outfits.
It used to be the whole you've been marooned, shipwrecked on an island, and this is all you're wearing.
Yeah.
So, and they would screw them because they would say, we're doing a photo shoot wear whatever you want, you know, whatever. Hey, you're a lawyer, wear a suit to the photo shoot. And then it's like, wow, the game has started, and then you're stuck in a suit. So they would really screw them. But now I feel like they just have so many more outfits.
A lot of fits.
Which is good. I mean, they got warmer clothes and obviously summer clothes and stuff like that. But I don't know if it's fair to the old Survivor players. Actually got one set of underwear and one set of, you know, shorts or pants and then a shirt. That's it.
It's when you just mentioned that, like, the idea of not knowing when the game was starting would be very, very anxiety produced. Like, knowing that every dump was potentially the last one, right? Like,
every bite of food, every dump, every shower. Yeah.
Like, I'm never getting on a boat. You're not getting me on a boat, Jeff. I do miss that. Like, I love the scrambling for supplies and jumping off the boat. They didn't do it this year.
Not this year, yeah. They did it in, 41, right?
Yeah,
because we had the whole snafu with the finding of the ore.
Yeah.
They couldn't find it.
Yep.
Oh, we could talk Survivor all day, guys, but we need to wrap up this podcast. Our third show of the day for Trey and I. We had No Dunks in the morning, we had Top Shot in the afternoon, and as we get into the night here, we had a little No Buffs, and we loved all three of them, especially this one. Shout out to the live tribe joining us live. Thank you so much. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to No Buffs on YouTube, and if you're a fan of the podcast and you listen on Apple or Spotify, well, make sure you leave your boys a 5-star rating and review. Helps people find the Survivor podcast. I mean, there's a million Survivor podcasts.
Yeah.
Most of them are better than ours, but no one has more fun. No one.
Some of them are better than ours.
Some of them suck.
Yeah.
Some of them are not good.
Here's my following list of Survivor podcasts. I'm just kidding. I only listen to the bangers. I ain't got.
How many different Survivor podcasts you listen to?
I'm a two. Oh, well, I mean, here's the thing. Rob has a podcast. His world.
He's got
like
podcast
7 or 8 podcasts a week. I mean, I don't listen to all of them. I can't.
I'm a know-it-alls man.
Hell yeah.
Guaranteed.
I'm a know-it-alls man. Yeah, if I can, I didn't have time today. Listen to the exit interview that Rob has.
Yep.
And then he'll have, if I'm going for long runs on the weekend, I'll try and listen to, he has like usually a Survivor player that was on obviously a previous season, but they'll do like a deep dive on that episode for like 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yep.
And I'll listen to him if I'm out on a long run. And then I like the Pod Is Spoken. I like our guy Tyson.
I've dipped in.
Doing his work.
JD, you seem to be pretty regular with Tyson's podcast.
Yeah, that's my go-to. If I only have time for one, it's that one. But Rob has a podcast I listen to all the time. But a lot of content. More content than No Dunks. And that's saying
that's a good
something.
point.
I thought about that the other day when he like goes through at the end of his show, like, oh, here's the following show's coming up. And he's like, so-and-so are doing this, so-and-so are doing this. And then we're going to tell you why so-and-so lost the game. And I was like, they're doing 7, 8, no, they're doing like 10 plus hours easily when you add it all up.
Easily.
Sure.
On 1 hour of television. 45 minutes of television.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
And they do it for like every other reality show, too.
I know.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Take that and times it by, I think they're doing a Beyond the Edge or whatever the heck that show with Ron Artest is called. That was, my scoop was wrong.
Yeah.
My scoop was right, but my scoop was wrong. We thought Ron Artest might be on like Survivor 43, but yeah, he's not.
Just on the post show.
Yeah. Is that what it's called? Beyond the Edge?
Beyond the Edge, yeah.
Yeah, that looks like garbage.
It is.
You watched it?
I watched the first act until they got to the first challenge. I was like, I'm out.
My number one complaint in watching the trailers was like, there's 9 people.
9 people.
Wasn't there 9 people? And then they would do challenges as teams.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's 5-on-4 all the time.
Is there 9 people?
That's what I thought it
that's
was.
Unusual.
Let me know if I'm wrong. I obviously didn't watch it. I just watched the trailers.
Well-
but it's driving me insane for some reason. That's what I think they said.
How's this sound? We'll all go watch Beyond the Edge
Right now?
right now.
Yeah.
Come back, do a podcast.
What do we call it? No Edge.
No Edge. Or Beyond it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, yes. Put out our sexy St. Jeff candle. There it is. Until next time, the tribe has spoken. Ooh, look at that.
Get out of the smoke!
No, I like it.